Hi, today I want to share for you a story that is from this book of treasury stories by Jan Britt. And this story is called The Mitten. How many of you do have a mitten where it's not all the fingers, but it's like this where you put your thumb in and then all your fingers? Well, that's what, if you don't have a mitten, that's what they look like. And this little boy named Nicky wanted a new set of mittens made from wool that was as white as the snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not really want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she said, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, and then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed in deep inside of it. Oh, it was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wriggled in feet first, and the mole didn't think there was room for both of them. But when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he didn't move. He just kept his nose quiet. Next, a hedgehog came shuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled, but when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him come in. Up through the snow appeared the badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him, go ahead, the thumbs up. It had started snowing, and all the animals were snug inside the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox, trotting by, stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy, made him feel sleepy. The fox poked his muzzle in, and when the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. A great big bear came lumbering by. He spied the mitten, all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be. But what animal's going to argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its size, but Baba's good knitting held fast. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled right into the one space that was left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten, silhouetted against the blue sky. As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw he still had his new mittens. But she wondered, what happened? The end. I hope you enjoyed The Mitten by Jan Britt. Thank you for coming.